Hello, everybody. Hello. How is everyone doing? Hallelujah. Ooh, what a wonderful day. It's time for the Sonia Shockley Show. I am your host, Sonia Michelle Shockley, inspirational singer and speaker, life coach, soul nurturer, and your big sister in relationships. And what do? Well, I help people transform their pain into purpose and turn their bitter into better. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love helping people transform their bitter into better. I wanted to talk a little bit about grief today as I look around our communities, our families, our churches, our nation, our world. We are in such sadness, such hopelessness. Unemployment is up. Suicide is up. Hello, Ann. We have an increase in domestic violence. So much is going on, not to mention this coronavirus that just will not go away. There's so much sadness in the world today. And I just wanted you to know that as your big sister, I am committed to being salt in a world that needs some more flavor, huh? I'm committed to being light in a world where there's so much darkness. We have many people who feel lost and hopeless and overwhelmed with all of the events that are going on, not to mention the racial tension that we're dealing with right now. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about grief and the myths that are out there, the misinformation. Some things we just need to unlearn when it comes to how we deal with loss and grief. I know that many of us have well-meaning family members and well-meaning friends who try to comfort us when we're going through loss. Hello, Deborah and LaShawn. Oh, hello. So many of us have different ways of dealing with grief, but a lot of that is just misinformation. Let's talk about it. Some of the phrases that we've heard are like, don't feel bad. Huh? How many of us have heard that? Type yes in the box if you've heard these phrases when you were going through loss or grief. Don't feel bad. Replace the loss. Grieve alone. Oh, it just takes time, huh? Be strong for others. Just keep busy. Oh, these are phrases that we have heard a million times. In fact, if I had $1 for every time I heard that, I would be definitely a billionaire. Well, let's take time to look at some of this misinformation. Let's think about the time when you had that family pet, huh? Replace the loss. And so mom saw you crying about that dog or that cat, and she says, oh, we'll just get a new one, right? Is that what you did? So you went out and you got another dog or another cat, but you didn't take time to process the loss of the first dog that you lost. So now you get a little bit older. Now you're a teenager and you're starting to date and you break up with that boyfriend or that girlfriend and mom sees you sad or dad sees you sad. And what do they say? Oh, don't feel bad. There's other fish in the sea. All you need to do is just replace the loss. Are you hearing me today? I know that some of these things are resonating with you. And so many of us, because this is the information that we learned as children, we go through life going from one relationship to the next, never really taking time to heal, taking time to grieve the loss of that person in our lives. Another popular one is, it just takes time. How many of us have heard that one before whenever we're going through loss or grief? It just takes time. Well, let me give you an example. If we had a family member who had just broken their leg right in front of us, okay? We're all at this family barbecue, and then all of a sudden somebody falls and they break their leg. Can you imagine if the family just circled around them and just said encouraging words and said, it just takes time? No, we wouldn't do that. We would rush this person quickly to the medical doctor. We would make sure that they get the treatment that they need. It's the same thing for our emotions. We can't say to somebody, it just takes time. Yeah, it takes time, but they also need to get the proper help that they need. They need to feel safe to share without judgment. Another one is keep busy or stay strong for others. You see, what I don't like about these myths is they keep us from being our authentic selves. Are you hearing me today? They keep you from being the true you that you're supposed to be because you are looking for approval. So many of us could get Oscars. We could get Academy Awards because every time a family member or every time a friend says, "How are you doing?" "Oh, I'm fine. The Lord is good. All is well." But you know that deep down inside, you are crying and you are suffering. And you don't know what to do with the emotions that are going on inside. Well, I want to invite you today to be your authentic self. I want to invite you to talk about some of the pain, some of the losses that you have been going through. And I want to let you know that I am here as your big sister and I'm willing to listen. I promise to listen with no condemnation, only information, communication that leads to transformation. You see, many of us, we've been looking for approval. And I won't lie, I myself enjoy approval. I love it when people like me. I love the sound of applause and cheers. That all feels good. Everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants to feel like they belong. But there's a difference between wanting approval and needing approval. And I want you to ask yourself right now, are you needing approval? Are you just going along to get along? Or are you really expressing and sharing how you feel? Now we know as these toxic feelings build up, they're no good for us. They affect the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit, the physical. And I don't want that to happen for you. So I invite you to reach out to me. I want you to know that I'm holding a space for you, a safe space. I'm building a community that will foster a safe space where people can share how they really feel so that they can really show up their true and authentic self. I'd like to invite you Friday night when I will have the Sonia Shockley Show at 6 o'clock. I've invited a couple of friends over to talk about fear versus faith. We know that we all want to have faith. Help me, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. So we want faith, but so many times as we look at the things that are going on externally, it's hard for us to stand in our faith, and we end up holding on to just a bunch of fears. So I want to give you courage today. Please tune in Friday night at 6 o'clock as we talk about faith versus fear. In closing, I just want you to know as your big sister that I truly believe that everyone was born to be bold, beautiful, brave, and I can't think of another B right now, but you know where I'm going. I know that you can be that. You were called to be that. But the reason why it's so hard is because we're still dealing with a lot of loss. Say goodbye to those fears. Say goodbye to that anxiety and learn to live in your true, authentic self, knowing that you are loved, that you are valuable, that you're seen, that you're heard, and that you matter. Until next time, God bless you. Take care. It's the Sonia Shockley Show.